All right, you're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're on to Sunday Watch. I have my guest now, Prince Alex Madojemu, who is joining us via our Zoom platform. You're most welcome, Prince. And thank you for joining us once again this beautiful Sunday morning.
Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here once again.
Thank you. Welcome, Prince.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you.
Okay, Prince Madojemu is a managing director of Mindview International Trauma Center in Abuja. It's really a pleasure having you from that far distance this morning. Okay, we are looking at dealing with challenges and crisis in the home. I want to establish one fact. When we talk about challenges and crisis, what is your own perspective of challenges and crisis in a home? Prince Madojemu.
Okay, thank God you established it. There is a huge difference between challenges and crises in a home. Okay, the first thing we have to understand is life is full of challenges, particularly so much so in the home. There are financial challenges, there are developmental challenges. Let's say, for instance, a family wake up, they have a child who is going through some developmental disorder or developmental disorder, whatever. That is a huge challenge for the family. Maybe lack of finances, that's a huge challenge. A whole lot of things there. In fact, life, because you are home, does not exempt you from life challenges. And most of those challenges, you have nothing, you have no, you are not the cause, but it just comes because you are a human being. And the difference between those challenges and crisis, it is how those challenges are being managed in the home that it will metamorphose into a crisis in the house. For instance, there is a low fund. Okay, there is no money, or maybe a child is sick, okay, there is no money to take this child to the hospital as it might be, and it is not properly managed, it is not properly communicated. The people are not on the same pedestal of level of understanding to understand, oh, what should we do, okay, and if it is not properly managed, it metamorphoses into a crisis. Challenges is not bad because it's part of human experiences. Crisis also is not bad because when there is an interaction, when human beings interact through other communication, and there's always be what they call misunderstanding between what you are trying to say or what I'm trying to understand. So that results to crisis. But if it is not properly managed appropriately, it will blow up into a crisis. That people will say, oh, we are having crisis in our home. We are having challenges. We are having crisis in our marriages. But it is not the marriage per se that is causing the crisis. It is not the marriage per se that is causing the challenges. It is a human interaction. People interact. And during that interaction, there is a misconception, there is a misunderstanding. Once one person is overwhelmed by the challenges, that is one thing. One person is overwhelmed by the challenges, or both of them are overwhelmed by the challenges because they don't have the appropriate mechanism to manage themselves through that process of challenges. So it results to crisis.
Thank you.
That is it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, Prince. Okay, let me come back to Pastor Mrs. Franklin. All right. You, as Prince was analyzing his own perspective of the topic, you seem to be in tandem with most of what he's saying. But then we want to hear your own view. Yes, he has, drew a line between challenges and the point it gets to crisis. I underline one, major factor. That's communication. There shouldn't be a gap. Yes.
That is it.
You also picked it. Right. Okay, so I want you to, give us an analysis of a good challenge or crisis management in a home that will yield quality results.
In actual sense, communication is the center of, will I say, the best instrument to use to manage crisis in a home. Communication breakdown actually is what is turning those challenges to crisis often. If we are, like the example Prince gave of that child if husband and wife can say, oh, we already know we have this challenge, how are we going to go about it?
Okay.
And they're able to discuss and they're able to come to the same point. The crisis will just fizzle out.
Fizzle out.
The major crisis in the home is communication. Communication breakdown. One person is speaking, the other one is not listening. There's difference between, oh, we are just communicating. But is somebody listening? Then the channel of the communication. You know, the Yoruba will always say, Pele, Olabo, Olako. That means sometimes you tell somebody, good morning. Tell somebody, good morning.
Do you really mean it?
Do you really mean it? There are difference to it. And so the way we communicate in a family matters so much. So if we can build up communication effectively, then most of our challenges will not result to crisis in the home.
Most of the challenges, she said, won't result to crisis if we have a proper communication channel. I come over to you, Prince Madojemu. You know, she explained what communication can do, but then I want you to, let's look further in managing crisis in the home or challenge. Challenge is a part of life, generally.
It is.
How can it be well managed? What are those factors that you, from your own perspective, feel can propel, you know, sustainability when in situations of crisis, either in the home or in a general life? Prince, can you hear us?
Prince.
Prince.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, we seem to. Okay. I'll come back to Prince Madojemu.
Okay,
then let me remain with you. What are those further factors that you feel will engender stability in situations of crisis? Who are those? What are those support systems?
Support systems,
yes,
to put in place
that will work in such situations.
In such situations, and if we find out today, one of the major crises that is often bringing crisis in the home is the area of finance. And husband and wife must come to the point of discussing their finance. You should be able to know what is your wife earning, what is your husband earning, so your expectation will not be too high.
So, okay.
If those things are not discussed, the expectation will be high. If I know that probably my husband is getting maybe his 100,000 income, and I'm probably making maybe 60,000 income in. Okay. We already have, this is our budget, this is what we have. Okay. We plan towards it. But when a husband is not open and the woman is not open, and I just see you that most of your friends you are following, they look like people that are earning almost 500,000 a month, 1 million a month, and you have never communicated your finance with me. My expectation will be high, and if they are not met, it's already a challenge that will result to crisis. Okay. So the finance should be brought to table. Let's discuss this, what I'm earning. This and this go to this and this come to the family, this goes to the children. Okay. You find out that we are still going back to communication. Then if it's a challenge, this is what I'm passing through. I don't sleep regularly, and that's why when I wake up in the morning, I look so tired. I can't meet your need. I can't really make you happy as you wanted me to. While you are sleeping, I'm having this pain, I'm passing through this. Communicate it out. So if we are able to communicate all that is happening in the family, because there will always be challenge. There's no perfect home. There will always be challenges.
There will always be challenges. Okay. Now over to you, Prince Madojemu. Can you hear us clearly now?
Very clearly, yes, I can.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I want you to share your view on this. She mentioned the financial challenge, and she said every party involved should be sincere. Come to a table where you will openly discuss your income so that the expectation will not be too high, up to the tune of bringing crisis into the home. From your own perspective now, what are those other factors that you feel when put in place, it will properly manage challenges in the home and will not allow it get to the point of crisis?
Okay, I completely agree with her on the openness about your finances in the home, about the openness of communication. But there is one thing we have to take note of. in family, there's always communication. Communication have never been a problem. But people's perception about that communication is what matters a lot. How people interpret what you are trying to communicate. And this has to do with them themselves. Then how is it about them? You see, whenever in our center, most of the time, what we do is we try to profile your upbringing. Okay, we try to profile. We try to take you back to your upbringing. How was your family like? How was the communication in your family like? Do you feel safe in your family? Somebody who comes from a dysfunctional family, no matter the level of communication you are trying to put up to the person, they might not be able to get what you're trying to communicate. Because why? There's what they call fight and flight responses they always get. They get triggered. Once a person gets triggered at that moment, no matter how, they are not listening to you. They are not listening what you are saying. They are not thinking about what you are saying, but they are getting responses from that state of flight and fright responses. So that it leads to a communication breakdown. Let's say, for instance, people who come from different backgrounds. Let's say, for instance, I was raised in a home where my father, we could talk about anything, we could communicate. My mom is being carried along in issues that happen that regards the home. Then I'm getting married to somebody who doesn't have that background. He comes from a home where the father is autocratic, they are being abused, dysfunctionality is what they get used to. How do you communicate with that kind of a person? It's not because there is no issue to communicate. It is not because there has been no communication. There is a communication, but there is a war that is being caused by the background where this person comes from. That's why when most often time people go for counseling, communicate. People are communicating seriously, but the receptive ability to get that communication is already being blocked. So people's perception have to come from where they are coming from their background. So if you have to deal with the issue of communication, how was your communication model in your family like? How was your family and your mother and your father? How were the communication like? More importantly, people who grow up in a place where they have seen their father deals with challenges, they have seen their mothers deals with challenges without it degenerating into crisis at home, have the ability to deal with life challenges without it degenerating into crisis. There's a huge difference between conflict and crisis. Conflict is part of marriage, okay? But crisis is way out of it. How did your father handle issues in the home? How did your mother handle issues at home? You see, it is not about what you learn, it's about program. When you have this program, about dysfunctionality program, you might grow up becoming develop a very wonderful personality, but you see that little child inside of you always shows up whenever there's a communication, because you see every communication as a sign of threat, as a sign of being criticized, as a sign of being. Vulnerability comes with communication. You can't communicate without vulnerability. So when people are not vulnerable, you can't communicate effectively with that kind of individual, because they see everything you say as an attack. Even when you're trying to portray it the best way you can, they see that their mind perceives it as an attack. And when it becomes an attack, you see, it's an energy, okay? When you keep putting up things forward, time will come up, the energy overwhelms every other person. So that is what happens in marriage. The first thing I tell people, it is very important for you to succeed in handling challenges in marriage. For it to not to generate, you need to heal yourself first. Look at where you are coming from. How was the marriage, your family you are coming from, how was it structured? Did you learn the model of communication? You don't learn it in marriage. You can't learn it in marriage. How was this communicated? Were you free? Were you safe enough to say whatever you want to say, and your feelings are being validated in where you are coming from as a child, as a teenager, as an adult? Were your feelings validated, or were your feelings, you suppressed your feelings so that you can please other people? So in marriage, it plays out in two ways. People suppress their feelings. They can't communicate. There's what they call it, three angles of communication in marriage. That's what called aggression, assertiveness, and passiveness. Most often time we move from being passive to aggressive. But assertion is what is very difficult for many of us to attain.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me hold you there, Prince.
We need a way out.
We need, yes, we
out.
certainly need a way out of all this in dealing with challenges. Now, you mentioned finance. Yeah. It's really, really appropriate, especially at this time in economic status as not only as a country but the entire globe. Many homes are having issues when it comes to finances. And you provide a solution. Be open.
Let's be open.
Be sincere.
Be sincere.
With that, there will certainly be a way forward. Don't overrate yourself so that you will have some peace.
Recently, I was counseling some group of family. I tried to tell them that this is the time to involve the children. Let them know there's crisis outside already. We have a whole lot of challenges and crisis outside. So this is the income of the family, give and take. Or maybe formally you take 2 spoons of milk if you want to take tea. Yeah. Please, can we reduce it to 1? So the children must be involved so that these challenges we are facing will not turn to a whole lot of crisis that will break out. Oh. Then even the religious body, we just have to be involved that every time we gather, let's let people know that this is how to manage home in such a time like this so that we resort to crisis. We keep on talking about it. We keep on telling people how to manage what is already in our hand now. Because we can't pretend there is no challenges that are already at the edge of going to crisis. So the better we just look at it and say, okay, this area of finance, we just have to address it. Because recently, those days used to be the issue of sex. But now it's no longer sex. Because it's when you are very happy, you talk about sex. It's no longer the issue of sex now. It's not the issue of finance. Oh, it's not giving me. Oh, what he gave me is not enough, and all the rest. Recently, I had an issue. I gathered a group of youth, and they are to serve food. And I just found out that they are still making it, they are not serving the food in the program. So I came out, what is happening? The lady there just sat down like that. I said, what is that? She said, Mommy, see the rice I'm to serve this crowd. I don't know what to do.
How will I cope? How will I manage
it? She said, how am I going to manage it and all the rest? So they were saying you should keep on serving it like that and all the rest. So I said, okay, what we are going to do, we have to manage it. The elderly ones are not there. Forget that you want to eat first. Let's give to those people that are teenagers, that are new. So we're able to manage. So this is actually the time to really strategize. Then counseling. Counseling has a lot to do in such a time like this. Like what Prince was talking about, somebody coming for a particular background, you are entering another place now. So there should be a lot of therapy, counseling to let the person know you are going to meet so person. He is like this, he is like this, and so there will be a little blending. So if we don't do a lot of this counseling,
which will take some time.
And there's what we call adjustment. Every one of us should be ready to adjust. Once you are entering a home, you are entering a family, be ready to adjust.
Be ready to
adjust. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, adjustment yẹn
gan-an.
Ó ní kókó ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà níbí. Torí pé a ní purọ́ tanra wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó bá ojú, ó ti wá bá imú. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní tí ọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n ní tó bá ṣe kí ni, wọ́n tó bá kan orí, tó kọ ọrùn. Ibì kan náà là á gbé sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó wá ń bọ̀ àwọn báyìí náà. Òun náà ni a máa jẹ́ di wá ní kíni kíní kò ṣe kíní kan rí àfi ń dẹ́rù bà ọlọ́rọ̀ ni ṣé iná rí ibi tí mo gbé wọlé ní ti àárọ̀ yìí inú mi dùn ayọ̀ mi kún láti gba màmá wa Pastor Mrs. àwọn náà ni olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Franklin ní àlejò lórí ètò láàárọ̀ ẹ̀wà káàárọ̀ ìyá wa.
Ẹ ṣeun ma.
Inú mi dùn láti gbà yín lálejò.
Inú mi náà dùn láti rí.
Àti ń gbọ́ yín ti pẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ pé Elédùmarè Jésù Kristi ó ti yìn wá sí orí ètò ní àárọ̀ ẹ̀yin náà sì wá gbà fún wa ẹ̀ wá. Wọ́n ti dé ti pẹ́ o. Kí ni a fẹ́ gbéyẹ̀wò ní àárọ̀ yìí pẹ̀lú Prince Madojemu àwọn náà wà ń bí. Kò jẹ́ wípé ẹ máa wò wọ́n lórí fọ́nrán ti sí wọn ni ṣùgbọ́n a jọ darapọ̀ lórí ètò láàárọ̀ yìí ni. Òun náà ni wípé àwọn nǹkan wo ló lè fa bí ìdààmú ìlọ́wọ́wọ́ wọ inú ìdílé. Òun náà ni à ń gbéyẹ̀wò ní àárọ̀ tó ti sọ ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì wọ́n ti sọ wọ́n ti gbà á ṣùgbọ́n a fẹ́ bi màmá wa ní èdè abínibí pé láàrin tọkọtaya láàrin inú ilé ìlọ́wọ́wọ́ wo ló lè wà báwo ló ṣe tẹ́ púpọ̀ fi wá fi ní kò ní da ìdààmú àbí kò da ìṣòro àwọn ò fẹ́ ìṣòro adóhùn sí ẹni jẹ́ níṣòro bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn olóyìnbó wọ́n ní it's not a problem it's a challenge bẹ́ẹ̀ ni a ní níṣòro ìlọ́wọ́wọ́ tó jẹ́ pé ó lè ti ni àbí kó wá ṣe kí ni kó darí sínú ìdààmú àbí ìṣòro nínú ilé òun là ń gbéyẹ̀wò láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ máa wá kí ni àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí tó lásìkò tá a wà yìí tá a bá ní parọ́ fún ara wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìdílé tá a bá di ìdílé mú dáadáa pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ ìfẹ́ tó ní ìtumọ̀ tó ní kìmí ni o láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn òbí sí ọ̀dọ̀ tọkọtaya kódà ládùúgbò tó ti dórí ọmọ tá a bá dì mú dáadáa àfàìmọ̀ àwọn gbogbo àmọ́ sùn lébi àwọn nǹkan wo la lè ṣe tàbí lè dojúkọ àwọn ìṣòro pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ tẹ́ pé ó lè máa fẹjú wọlé ọlọ́run ní jóbojú wọnú ilé wa.
àmín ní orúkọ Jésù. Mo sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bá a ṣe ń náwó wa sí.
èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì lẹ sọ òyìnbó lẹ sọ tó Yorùbá náà tó Yorùbá.
ok lẹ́ẹ̀kan mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bó ṣe yẹ ká máa gbé ìgbésẹ̀ nípa owó tó ń wọlé
ìṣúná
owó nílé nípò tí wàá di pé ká wá kó ẹnu papọ̀ ká jọ jókòó ká mú ọ̀bẹ tí ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gé ó ti wá di pé gígé ń sìn o.
ó ti di pínpín.
ó ti di pínpín lọ́wọ́ pínpín la wà báyìí.
kéèkì ni.
kéèkì ni. àsìkò dẹni o àdẹni pẹ́ borí ẹ̀ a máa borí ẹ̀. so ó wá di ìkan tó yẹ kí ọkọ fi sọ́kàn kí ìyàwó fi sọ́kàn àtàwọn ọmọ náà kan fi sọ́kàn ní pé ìgbà díẹ̀ ni ó fẹ́ tán ká fọkàn balẹ̀ á borí. wọ́n bu gàrí yẹn díẹ̀ ṣebí ká ṣáà ti jẹun ni. Mo jẹun yóò kò sí lásìkò yìí o.
ṣé mo ti jẹun.
jó ti jẹun mi ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ pé ṣe yó.
ṣe ti fi nǹkan sínú.
ṣe ti fi nǹkan sínú ni then dádì wa náà kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹran méjì mọ́ ó ti wá di bẹ́ẹ̀.
fúngbà díẹ̀ náà.
so mo fẹ́ rí bẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn òbí wa pé kí wọ́n jọ àsìkò yìí àtàwọn òbí wa àgbàlagbà ẹ já máa pe àwọn ọmọ wa tó bá jọ́kùnrin ní tiẹ̀ pé jọ́ o fọkàn ẹ balẹ̀ tá a bá ti gbélé kò ní le tó bó ṣe rí o ká ní ìfọkànbalẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí calm down ká ní sùúrù dáadáa ká fi sùúrù ká fi tó tá a bá lè fi sùúrù sí i àti fẹ́ẹ̀ débẹ̀.
ìyẹn ni pé tá a bá fi inú mi ti ẹ̀ dùn torí ibi tẹ́ ẹ gbé wọ̀ yìí àbí ẹni tẹ́ pé ẹ wà ní ilé ìjọsìn tẹ́ pé ẹ̀ ń wàásù ni pé lásìkò tá a wà yìí
sùúrù ni o.
eégún òtòlò náà ní ká fi sùúrù sí ẹ wá bá ń gbọ́ ṣé mo wí pé ìgbà míì bẹ́yìn ṣe sọ yìí ó dàbẹ̀ ni pé kì í mọ́ fi rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o kí ni ó ní kò fẹ́ fún mi ni nígbà tó lọ rí iye ìjọ sí olóye iṣu tó ń kó lọ wọ́n dẹ̀ fún wọn lówó tún fún wọn lẹ́ńfílòpù ojú mi ni ó ṣe wá jẹ́ ńgbà táwọn tèmi dé ń sàn ìgbà yẹn ni wọ́n sọ pé òun ò ní ó máa ní ni o èmi ò tiẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ ẹgbẹ́ bùlẹ̀ ìfẹ́ sọ sí láàrin o
òun náà mo sọ pé.
ìyá náà dẹ̀ máa ní pé aláyé ẹ̀rọ ló pè ní mo bí nǹkan mi tó o bá mo yẹ ìró tí mo eyé tààró etí tààró tán ìró ti lọ ọmọ ti dánmọ́.
ìró tí ìyàwó gan ló ń tàn sí.
lọ́wọ́ tá a wà ìyàwó ló tún ta ìyàwó ẹ sọ fún wọn ló ń tààró lọ́wọ́.
a tún máa bẹ̀ wọ́n náà ni torí ṣé ẹ rí bá a ṣe ṣe lé òun nìkan tá à ń rí ní Nàìjíríà o so òun lọ̀rọ̀ family fi ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ìdílé ẹbí ló fi jẹ́ kókó bá a ṣe dìímú tó bá ń wò ilé lágbájá kò tó ọmọ ta ni lágbájá ta ló bí so àwọn òbí wa náà ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rò bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà bí Nàìjíríà dẹ̀ ṣe rí nígbà tí wọn ó tún yàtọ̀ sí bó ṣe rí sí so kí ìyá kó máa kọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ despite pé ó ti wà nílé ọkọ kó kọ́ bí ó ṣe máa mú àwọn ọmọ tó dá jáde síta ẹ jẹ́ ká ro díẹ̀ nípa tara wa lọ́tẹ̀ta wa yìí.
tọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
lásìkò yìí jẹ́ ká ro nípa tọmọ ní kejì wa.
ẹ jẹ́ àbílẹ̀ bàbá wa Madojemu ṣé wọ́n gbọ́ ohun tá à ń wí. Prince ṣé ẹ gbọ́ Yorùbá ṣé ẹ mú Yorùbá yín wọ́n.
mi ò gbọ́ Yorùbá.
ẹ gbọ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ fún mi pé yóò gbọ́ Yorùbá. Prince wetin you wan talk to this one? You talk broken now, talk to pidgin. How we go deal with this one now? For homes. In this present situation, wetin we go come do now? Because you no wan say make because of this communication thing.
We have to move.
Make it come escalate. No, we no want problem because even the adage says that charity begins at home. So now they talk about home now. From home, how can we do it? Solutions.
Okay. People should understand marriage is not for.
Na PGO, I beg you. Pidgin.
Perhaps he wants to speak in Yoruba.
Marriage not be. Marriage not be forfeit. Marriage is not serious work.
Not serious.
When people need to put in more effort for it to make it work.
Everlasting.
People need to understand. Say marriage. It not be like when you put food for inside microwave, you come out and you don't chop it. It not be like that. A get process where you go feel make marriage work for you. People where don't fail for marriage or people where don't succeed for marriage, they don't get challenges different from every person when they
the challenge is different. Not be the same.
Same challenges when they say marriage. People where don't succeed though, people where don't fail though. Now the same wahala now make them fail or make them succeed. But waiting make other people succeed be say they make up their mind. Like my sister for studios there say openness. Talk about everything about us. Teach children be say, oh, this is how we want to do this thing though. Because you they prepare them for future also, not just about you now. Not just about you. Say, oh,
make them know say
not about you.
This thing no day. I mean this thing day. Money, papa, we get money or we don't get.
How we go do this thing? Everybody go talk their own. Okay, you as the man of the house, okay, based on what you talk, okay, make you do it like this. Okay, make you do it like for that. You carry everybody along. It's not run by autocratic processes.
Don't be say one day go they teach order.
Everybody get the voice. Everybody get the say. The mama, the pikin, and the oga for the house.
They get contribution.
They on the same page. If not, then we go fall into poto and we come up for them. We'll say, oh, marriage not work. No, not marriage not work. Now you know.
Now you don't make it work. Thank you so much, Prince. I know that my Prince go talk now. As long as you don't talk pidgin, I say everybody don't understand the all the trench way you don't speak before. Abuja man. My Prince. That's so now. Yeah, I bet you forgot to be done.
Mo gbọ́ dáadáa. Ó ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọ̀ mí létí dáadáa.
Bàbá ọkàn lè dédé kọ́kọ́ máa dédé máa gbófin ayé à ń gbófin kalẹ̀ kọ́ nílé kí ló máa bẹ́ bá adé bí òfin yẹn àbí.
báwo la ṣe máa tó.
bó la yìí fẹ́ tó.
báwo la ṣe fẹ́ tó.
lásìkò tá a wá wà yìí màmá wa torí inú mi ti ẹ̀ dùn wípé olùṣọ́ àgùntàn ni yín ẹ bá ń bá ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì la wà yìí ẹ bá ń kọjú sí wọn ẹ bá ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin obìnrin àsìkò yìí kọ́ la aṣọ ẹbí. àsìkò kọ́ la dẹ̀ ń bínú pé
kò bá mi raṣọ ọ̀rẹ́ mi ra ní 50,000 èmi náà fẹ́ rọ ní 70,000 mo fi Ọlọ́run bẹ̀ yín kò sí àsìkò yìí o tẹ́ bá dé yàrá mi sí àìmọye aṣọ yìí tá a wọ̀ ní 2005 ṣe la àwọn ọmọ òde yóò dé fẹ́ wọ̀ so ṣe ni wọ́n kọ̀ wá ń bẹ̀ ń sìn so mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ àwọn ìyá wa mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ yẹn jọ àsìkò tó yẹ ká máa fi ọ̀pá ọkọ wa yóò dà fún yín o wàá ṣe oríire o mo mọ̀ yìí tó mú wá yìí o ó kọ̀ yẹ pé kò tó díẹ̀ ni o tó bá tún lè ṣe díẹ̀ sí o ẹ̀bọ̀ tí mo dúpẹ́ fún ilé ẹ jẹ́ ká fira ọlọ́kàn balẹ̀ then àwọn ọmọ wa ká pè wọ́n ká fọwọ́ wọn nínú ká pè wọ́n wọnú yàrá ká bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ àsìkò tá a wà yìí yóò já síre fún wa o àmọ́ kó ba lè já síre ó wà lọ́wọ́ wa. Kò sí ẹni tí tó jẹ́ bàbá nípa ọ̀rọ̀ hóòmù nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ilé àwa ní ilé bó ṣe fẹ́ kó rí bó ṣe máa tó ní.
ọkọ ìyàwó ọmọ.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so kó ba lè dá ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àkàfẹ́ ọkàn sí kájú wọ́pọ̀ kájọ ṣe.
ẹ ṣeun wọn ní àgbájọ ọwọ́ báyìí òun náà ni a fi ń sọ̀yà ẹtì gbọ́n tí bàbá wa sọ wọ́n ní àjèjì ọwọ́ kan wọ́n ní kò gbẹ́rù dórí màmá wọn náà dẹ̀ sọ wípé ẹ̀yin mọ́mì wà lásìkò tá a wà yìí àsìkò tó yẹ ká lo ìfẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìfẹ́ gbangba
ìfẹ́ ni o ìfẹ́
àsìkò tó yẹ ká ṣe
gbangba
pẹ́pẹ́ fúrú ìta gbangba gangan rẹ̀ hàn níbo lẹ́ ń lọ ẹ ti ń jáde sí wàhálà báwo dẹ̀ ni oúnjẹ yẹn ń kọ́ báwo ni kí ni ká ṣe dè yín owó yẹn náà a máa ní ìjẹ àbí báwo ni ọmọ ẹ̀rí bá ti ṣe ẹ̀rọ náà ẹ̀ ti ṣàdúrà fáwọn ọkọ yín ẹ fìfẹ́ lò fún wọn torí pé tọ́wádé gbòòrò kọ́ lè tètè máa kọ́ mọ́ kówó nǹkan mọ́ gbèlè gbàgbé alẹ́ onípẹpẹ súùpù lọ kọ́ lè máa kó wọ̀ nílé straight ká lè jọ wọn bá ṣe láàjẹ dá lò ó láàrin àwọn ọmọ wa ire nítorí wípé ìyanu máa ṣẹlẹ̀ lólè Nàìjíríà ẹ jẹ́ ká fi eegun òtòlótó lásìkò ìmọ̀ wa thank you so much
ẹ ṣeun
ẹ ṣe gan ni adúpẹ́
thank you
Prince thanks so much sir. Yes, we enjoyed you. I beg first lady.
Yes, all right. We have really run out of time. Ooh. But then let me allow Prince to wrap up for us as we go. The situation really is not smiling, except we want to deceive ourselves. How can, everyone in the family participate to ensure that every home stands you know, is strengthened at this time? Just briefly, before we go, Prince Madojemu.
Okay, briefly,
Yes.
the man should show leadership, not strength. Okay, the man should show leadership, not strength. You as a leader, you have to, your strength is to protect, to lead, and to guide the people you are leading. Be open as much as you can. Be vulnerable as much as you can. Because if you are not vulnerable, you cannot lead the people that you ought to have lead. If you lead them from a distance, you can lead them. Be vulnerable. Because the families right now are not smiling. Financial crisis everywhere. If you receive how much you are receiving, it's not enough. But be open. Have a one-on-one discussion with your children. Even if you say, oh, maybe we want to change the school, have a conversation with them. You are not autocratic.
Them along.
Have a conversation. Let them understand why you are taking that decision that is for the family best interest. Not just, this is what I want to do, this is how it's going to be. It doesn't work that way.
It does.
Be vulnerable, carry everybody along. I think by after that, everybody will be fine.
Thank you very, very much, Prince Alex Madojemu, for your time on the program. Let me come over to Pastor Mrs. Franklin.
Thank you.
I want your part in short.
Well, I just want to say, such a time like this, involve every member of the family. Such a time like this, try to know their, I call it emotional intelligence. Sit where they sit. Even the husband cooperates with your wife. When he comes back from market, you saw that she's not smiling. Don't feel that after I gave 100,000, 100,000 is just a nylon. So such a time like this, please, let's walk with love. Let's empathize with each other. We'll have a better home.
We'll have a better home. All right, that's really will be the size of our program this morning, and you've heard it all from our guests. All you need to do is to empathize, show some love, and I tell you, the challenge is for a period. It will fizzle out into the thin air. We'll see next week by the grace of God. I'm Anita Buhari. Enjoy the remaining parts of the weekend and have a fantastic week ahead. Oluwatoyin.
Èmi mà ti dúpẹ́ nítorí pé àti ṣètò òun léni. Ẹ ti bá wa kó jẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n kí ni kan tọkọ tìyàwó àtọmọ? Ká sowọ́pọ̀ kó lè dá.
Wow, thank you so much. That is it.